So my guest today is Julie Coulter Bellon, and I've known Julie for at least over a decade. She helped me learn the rules of good writing, so I'm always indebted to her. Julie is the author of over 24 romantic suspense books. Her book, All Fall Down, won a Roan Award for Best Suspense. Pocket Full of Posies won a Roan Honorable Mention for Best Suspense. And The Captain was a Roan Award finalist for Best Suspense. You have several series going. Do you take one series and just run with it and finish it through, or?
Well, when I first started writing, I just finished a series, but now I'm kind of jumping a little. So my very first series was the Canadian Spies series, and that's Through Love's Trials, On the Edge, and Time Will Tell. And my publisher for that one was Spring Creek Books, and they were recently in the news because the publisher was on trial for murder,
Chad
Chad Daybell.
Daybell.
And so that was quite the experience because back when I knew him, back when he was my publisher, he was very normal. And, I never had any clue that here we are 20 years later and he's a convicted murderer now. So anyway, he believed in my books and his company gave me a really good start in the industry. And so I did that first series with them. And then I transferred to another publishing company and I did my Doctors in Danger series with that. So I did that. There's 3 books in that series as well. And then I started my hostage negotiation series. And so that's more of a police, we're following a hostage negotiation team in a police department. And one of my very favorite characters that I wrote for that series was Claire. She's just this strong, fiery woman who, gets things done. And I just loved her character because, and I just love it when you're not a damsel in distress waiting to be rescued. You're, part of the rescue. You're, getting in there and doing it for yourself. And you can still be vulnerable and feminine and still be strong and resilient as well. So I loved that about her character. And then I have my Lincoln Love Stories. I switched and did a small town romance series. And I did the first 2 books in the series, and a lot of my suspense people were like reading it and liked it, but we just kept waiting for the suspense for like the villain to come along, and it's just an actual romance series. There's no suspense. But the third book in that series is the one that's coming out this fall. The first 2 books I did a few years back. So yeah, I didn't do that one all in order. I also have my Veterans Club series, which is my historical romance. I love historical romance and I love, reading about the Regency is my favorite time period. So I thought maybe I'll try and do one. I was super nervous to do it. So I thought, what if I, don't do a good job and I can't ever read Regencies again because I just, blew it or something like that. And it actually ended up being going really well. The first one in the series, the Mark Westmeath's Match, of my bestseller, and won a couple of awards for that one. So I didn't need to worry. Worrying is terrible, so I shouldn't do it, but I do.
These series, do you plan them all out? Do you know where they're all going, or is it more organic, or how does that work?
It is more organic, and I wish that I was better at that because I started my All Fall Down hostage negotiation series. So the first book was All Fall Down. And then later on, after I finished the book and published it and got it published or whatever, I was thinking, I should do it with the little rhyme because the rhyme had a part in the book, Ring Around the Rosie. And so I did it backwards. So the first one was All Fall Down, Ashes, Ashes, then Pocket Full of Posies, then Ring Around the Rosies. And so if I had planned that better, I would have done Ring Around the Rosie first and then all the way down to All Fall Down. And I also need to be better at names because in one of my books I named one of the characters Bart. He's a police officer, and then he ended up becoming a main character in a book. And if I had been thinking along the lines of series, I probably wouldn't have named him that. So I should be better about planning them and planning names and titles and things like that, but it's all fallen into place and how it was supposed to be. But sometimes I think, oh, I should be better at planning that.
So since I'm reading the first one of the Griffin Force, then I can expect that each of the team members are probably going to have their own spin-off books,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes, that's right. And so you can read them standalone. The order doesn't necessarily matter, but you get a broader and richer experience if you've read the previous books because you'll know those other team members.